YouTube! It's been a long time. I actually started a new channel. It's called The Dream Shifter, and I talk a lot about how to lucid dream, and I'm going to be doing videos on meditation, chakras, different things like that that I actually do on a regular basis. In case you want to check it out, so I'll put it in the link below, and maybe I'll put it in the annotations at the very end. We'll see. So, bulking and my take on it. This is something that so many people ask me. And it's a very hard one to answer because everybody is different. I'm going to give you guys exactly what I've learned over time. And hopefully this is going to be something that's going to help you to understand better how to bulk, but also on a personal level. You have to tailor it to yourself for it to work best for you. I always thought that I was big, but I was big for my age. I remember being, 14 or 15, weighing 140, 150 pounds. And every year I gained about 10 pounds. Now, I left high school 176 pounds, but that wasn't that big. At the moment, I thought it was huge, but in reality, I wasn't. Now, at this point, I can consistently hold about 215 pounds. So that's a pretty big difference. I went through 3 different bulks. They were 6 months, a year, I think 14 months, so over a year. From what I went through, I don't think that was the right method of doing it, but let me tell you why I did that. One of the things that I read up was it talked about how to build muscle mass without using performance enhancers. Pretty much what it said was just gain a lot of weight, hold on to that weight while you're lifting heavy, and then cut down on the fat and then see where you're at. I did that 3 times, but every single time I would learn that the amount of muscle that I put on compared to the amount of fat that I also gained was not worth it. I'm going to tell you straight up, it wasn't worth it. And because it wasn't worth it, I don't recommend it. The most I got to, the heaviest I was ever in my life, was 271 pounds. And then I cut the fat out and I got down to 207. So that's a huge difference. That's over 60 pounds of fat that I held on to. I want to give you a reality of what bodybuilders do and their off season. Now, this might be a little hard to hear. People don't want to accept this, but this is the truth. When a person takes performance enhancers, they can be hormones, they can be diuretics, they can be estrogen suppressors or aromatase inhibitors. Now, when a person takes those things, and if they were to eat a lot of food, they could actually maintain a lean body while also putting on mass. The reason why people go on this off season and they put on a ton of muscle but they still have abs is because they're taking these substances. This is why you don't want to just eat whatever and bulk in that way, thinking that because you're taking this 6 months to gain body mass and then burn it, that you're going to turn out just like the bodybuilder who is in an off season, and then when he burns his fat, he is massive and very muscular. I'm not saying I'm against anybody who does it that way, because that is their decision. It is a personal decision. And the success that they have, good on them. But for a person who doesn't take those substances, you have to be careful, because you're going to see that if you were to eat a lot of food and, gain a lot of weight, get really fat, and then cut down, you might have excess skin, you might have stretch marks that come about with that, and all of a sudden now what you wanted to do didn't turn out the way that you wanted it to happen. So there's a difference between gaining lean mass and body weight. A lot of people think that, if I'm just going to increase my body weight, I'm going to increase my muscle mass as long as I'm working out. And that is not true. The thing is that when a person gains lean mass, it has to do with them slowly improving, but also taking in an excessive amount of protein that's going to help them build that lean mass. It may be from lifting heavier, it may be from doing body weight exercises that your body's not used to. You're going to see the changes in the muscle mass. You're going to literally see the muscles grow. But if a person was to gain weight, then you're going to see different things happen, Maybe your sides, your lower back gets fatter. Maybe your definition in your arms or your shoulders go away, but all of a sudden they're just like a little bit bigger. The problem is if a person was to cut down after that, who knows if they were to even keep that mass that they built from weight gaining, rather than if they just maintain a lean body and were to put on lean gains, it takes a little bit more time. They would gain healthy and productive muscle, like muscle that's actually going to stick. So there are different body types, of course. You have an ectomorph, a mesomorph, and an endomorph. And you also have people in between. So it would be like an ecto, meso, endo. You have to know what your body type is, and from that, take advantage of it. I have a lot of people who ask me, and they're ectomorphs. With an ectomorph, you can get away with a lot of things, and you can actually eat a lot more and maintain a really low body fat percentage. I would like to think in my case, I'm a meso-endo, because I can put on mass, and I can put on a lot of it. So I have to watch what I eat, and I have to eat things in a very specific way to help me to maintain a lean physique, but also to be able to put on mass. So you have to know where you're at and then what you can adjust for yourself. The number one thing that has always changed my body is diet. With the amount of protein you're eating, the amount of times you're eating throughout the day, maybe if you're fasting as well, maybe if you're eating carbs at a very specific time, then it's gonna change your body, and your body's gonna use what you put into it as fuel. You have to learn what works for you. As a meso-endo, okay, I'm gonna give you what has worked for me, and if you feel like you have my body type, meaning that you're a heavier set guy, but possibly you're doing well in the gym, you could build muscle. This is what I do. I eat a lot of protein and I eat a lot of fat. If you're eating fat, it helps your hormonal process. Your hormones are what dictate how much you can grow. So if you have better testosterone, even as a natural athlete, you're gonna have better muscles. Make sure that you're eating an excessive amount of protein. Most people don't even eat even close to what they need to be eating. I'm not saying you need to count your macros. I don't count my macros. All you need to do is every time you eat, make sure you have protein with it. But when you're pushing yourself to eat more protein, that is gonna build your muscles. The third one, this is a hard one for me, and because I put on fat really easily, I have to systematically use my carbohydrates. This is how carbohydrates work, and I've said this before in previous videos. I'm gonna say it the most simplistic way, and it is this. When you eat a carbohydrate, it breaks down into sugar. The sugar goes into your muscle, it gives your muscles energy. Any excessive sugar that can't fit in your muscles is then stored and saved as fat. Very simple. There's 3 ways that I optimally use carbohydrates. You don't have to do all 3 ways. Is number 1, for breakfast. Your body has fasted for 8 hours if you have slept 8 hours, and your body can absorb nutrients really well in the morning. Number 2, if you can do this, and a lot of people can't, to eat a carbohydrate 2 hours before the gym to give it time for your body to process it and then give you energy. And the third one is after the gym. You deplete your body of its sugar in the muscles when you go work out. So afterwards, it would actually refill what you have. So 3 optimal times. That's going to help out so much. Don't just eat carbs throughout the whole day. If you're an endomorph, that is not a good idea. But if you're an ectomorph, hey man, power to you. So from my dieting and from my experience, what I have come to find out over time is I'm probably never going to bulk ever again. From what I have found, a slow and steady muscle growth, lean mass, is what's going to get you to where you want to be. And this is especially true for people who are not competitors, they're not professional. They're average people who go to the gym, but they do want to improve their physique. And you're going to build mass. Alright guys, thanks for watching.